It's been 48 hours since I got my flaps stuck in the keyhole.
The man accused of kidnapping a California preteen he met on the video game Roblox, breaking his silence from behind bars.
Like in Morning Friends, I was a little bit like hesitant because of like age or whatnot, but I was pretty much encouraged.
This lady you see right here convinced a 10-year-old child to unalive her whole entire family over Roblox. 31-year-old David Ibarra was arrested after the mother of one of his victims tricked him into revealing himself.
Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little different. We're talking about Roblox, a game that for years has been branded as a fun, safe, creative platform for kids. It's marketed as a digital playground, a space where young people can connect, create, and just play online. But the more you look into it is the more you realise Roblox might not be the children's game that it claims to be. In fact, when you take a closer look, it starts to feel like one of the most dangerous places a child could be found online. And I don't mean that lightly. This video isn't about bashing Roblox for the sake of it. However, discussing whether it should even be seen as a children's game at all, considering the crimes, the loopholes, the mechanics, and the culture surrounding it. Let's start with the basics. Roblox has more than 380 million active users monthly, and a significant portion of those are children, some as young as 7 or 8. Parents often think of Roblox as like a digital Lego with colourful block avatars and very cute little games. But is that really the full story? Because when you do dig deeper, the platform looks a lot less like a digital playground and more like an unmoderated social experiment. And the biggest concern, children are sharing spaces and often direct communication with strangers from all around the world. And this is where it gets scary. There have been multiple cases of predators using Roblox to connect with children. We're not talking about rumours here. These are real crimes that have been documented in the news. In a lot of cases, adults are managing to lure children into off-platform conversations and communications, which later escalates into some very serious abuse. Now, ask yourself, how many parents know who their children are actually talking to on Roblox? How many even know that Roblox has a chat feature or voice chat, or that there are private servers existing where monitoring is almost non-existent? This isn't just a hypothetical concern, it is already happening. And when you see the headlines connected to sexual crimes linked to Roblox, it really does make you question, how has this game earned the reputation of being safe for children? One of the most disturbing cases highlighting the vulnerabilities within Roblox involves a 17-year-old called Christian Scriben from Ocala, United States. In May 2025, Scriben was arrested after allegedly convincing children as young as 8 years old to produce and send him explicit images via Roblox. Authorities reported that he engaged with about 4 to 5 children daily over the course of a year, using the platform to exploit and manipulate them. Scriben also reportedly misrepresented his age on the platform.
I was talking to a kid, but I really didn't know if it was like somebody who was under my age.
When you lied about your age, what age would you say?
Like either a year above them, or if it like a year or two above them.
Just in a sense, so they would be comfortable type deal. So if they say they were 13, you say, "Oh, I'm 14."
Or 15, yes sir.
Gotcha.
To appear more acceptable to younger players, and then would often try and move conversations off platform to places like Discord or text messages. This case underscores a very critical flaw in Roblox safety measures. Once interactions move off platform, the company's ability to monitor and ultimately prevent abuse diminishes rapidly. Roblox responded by by banning Scribbin's account and reporting the incident to the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children. However, this reactive approach raised concerns. If such exploitation can happen so easily within Roblox servers, are the platform's safeguarding regulations really that strict? Are they merely a facade, offering a false sense of security to the adults allowing their children on this game? Let's move into a portion of Roblox's controversy that has actually been making headlines. There are active lawsuits accusing Roblox of failing to protect children from sexual abuse, grooming, and exploitation. These are not hypothetical cases, these are actual lawsuits, cry-outs from parents and victims and state authorities. A lawsuit filed in 2025 alleges that Roblox's existing safeguarding, such as parental controls, minor account settings, blocked messages settings, haven't stopped sexual predators from contacting children. Here are some of the real cases from the lawsuit. In Louisiana, the Attorney General has filed a lawsuit claiming Roblox is defective by design, saying the platform recklessly allows adult predators to pose as children due in part to weak age verification. There's a case where parents are suing a 15-year-old boy, alleges that grooming on Roblox led to him being extorted on another platform, Discord, ultimately contributing to him taking his own life. A Georgia mother claims her child under an underage account was solicited with explicit content, coerced to send images even though her parental controls were supposedly active. In another instance, a predator supposedly lured a 10-year-old girl on Roblox, then manipulated her to share her location and was eventually abducted and was assaulted. These kind of cases are showing a pattern. Predators often pose as children or friendly peers to gain trust. They then use Roblox to initiate contact, then push the contact to less regulated sites like Discord or Snapchat. Those platforms usually have weaker or different moderation and can then be used to exchange a lot more explicit material and then exploit loopholes. Accounts with supposed child safety settings turned on are still receiving explicit messages or being groomed on the platform. So what does it say about Roblox safety system that children with strict parenting controls are still being approached by predators online? If you block messages but predators can still send them, how effective are those controls? How transparent are the age verification processes? If adults can so easily masquerade as children, does that then defeat the purpose of these features when legal cases are describing these as foreseeable events, meaning people in Roblox or watching Roblox should reasonably anticipate these events happening? What is Roblox then legally and ethically obligated to do? How much responsibility really lies on Roblox to monitor, detect and intervene, not just after the abuse has happened, but to prevent it in the first place? These lawsuits make it very clear that when you market a game as safe for children, you must match that claim with the most robust protection. Parental controls and age filters are just not enough if predators can constantly bypass these. So here's a question: can Roblox ever truly be safe for children when its core mechanics and policies are failing those they claim to protect? And if not, should that shift how we think about Roblox, not as a children's game, but as a mixed age social space with very real risks? But there aren't just predatory sexual crimes happening. There's a case out of Florida that does deserve spotlight here. It shows how dangerous the platform can be when someone wants to orchestrate harm.
A 2-month-old is seriously hurt after Escambia County, Florida deputies say a woman was telling a 10-year-old to kill the baby on a gaming site. This is Tara Sykes. She's accused of using the online game Roblox to instruct the 10-year-old to drop the baby on the tile floor.
In late 2024, a 36-year-old woman called Tara Sykes allegedly used Roblox's social features to engage with a 10-year-old and was instructing them to commit horrific crimes. Acts like dropping a 2-month-old baby on a tile floor, to drown the baby in a bath, to scald the infant with boiling water, to slit the throats of the adults living in the home, to burn their bedding with aerosol and set it on fire. These are not abstract what ifs. These are things she has allegedly told a child to do. Now, the 10-year-old wasn't actually able to carry out all of these things. However, the infant was harmed and did suffer some serious injuries. Authorities have, however, said that the infant is expected to make a full recovery, or at least to survive. When asked, a sheriff had said that in his 40 years of this career, he had never seen anything like this. So why does this case matter so much? Because it does really push the idea of, is it just an online risk? This wasn't just grooming or inappropriate messaging. This was directing real world violence. It also shows how the tools on Roblox, like chat and communication features, can be weaponized and not just misused. If someone with malicious intent knows how to use these platforms and knows how to communicate with a child on Roblox, the platform becomes a conduit for some very serious crimes. And it is also helping to highlight a very chilling reality. Children may not always understand the difference between the real world and the game world. If an adult they trust, or just someone speaking to them online, tells them to do something, a young child might not be capable of distinguishing what is safe and what is allowed. This is again raising a lot of questions. How was this even allowed to happen under the current safeguarding regulations? What went wrong in the moderation, detection, or oversight that allowed an adult to give such violent instructions over a Roblox chat? If a platform can facilitate this type of conversation, even indirectly, what is the platform's responsibility in all of this? Are age verification methods, chat filters, moderation efforts, is this enough when these can be bypassed? When someone can use social features or private messaging to bypass all of it? This case amplifies the concern that we have been talking about: the exposure to strangers, the loopholes, the limits of restricted chats, the danger of voice or text communication that are poorly monitored. So let's talk about how the game actually runs and works. Roblox offers a variety of communication options. We're talking in-game chat, private messaging, and even voice chat. On paper, these should all have safeguarding. Voice chat, for example, is supposedly locked behind age verification, but do children or adults always follow those steps? Of course not. And even when restrictions do exist, players do seem to find ways around them. Kids have been reportedly breaking up phone numbers in fragments and sending them across multiple messages to avoid detection of sending a contact number. Some use coded language to bypass the filters. So while Roblox does have some modification features, the reality is that determined players and predators can often outsmart them. So what is the point of these restrictions if they are easy to dodge? So here is where it gets even stranger. Over the past few years, Roblox has started to get a reputation of being a makeshift dating platform. Entire sub-communities exist where avatars can flirt, role-play relationships, and sometimes even emulate and sometimes even simulate adult behaviours. There have even been news stories highlighting the worries and risks of Roblox turning into a dating website. And I want you to just think about that for a second. A platform where the largest demographic is children, functioning in some corners as a dating app. How can we seriously call that a children's game? So here is something that has been making the rounds recently. Roblox is indeed planning on adding a dating feature. Yes, the actual dating feature within Roblox. Now, under Roblox's current community standards, romantic relationships are technically prohibited, and that makes sense, right? Nearly 40% of Roblox's players are known to be under 13, and the wider majority are teenagers. Most parents think of Roblox as a safe, kid-friendly game, not a place for adults to find love. But Roblox's CEO, David Baszucki, has been defending the idea. He's said that if the online virtual dating on Roblox can help combat loneliness, particularly for Gen Z, the pitch is that dating in a virtual world is less intimidating, a softer stepping stone for people to bridge between dating in the real world. And to be honest, at the first glance, that does sound innovative. And after all, the digital world is now shaping how a lot of people meet and communicate. But the real question is Roblox really the right place for this? Can we really take a platform that has built its entire reputation about being a children's game marketed to children, filled with child players, and then bolt on a dating feature for adults? Even if Roblox are saying that this feature will be blocked for players under 21 years of age, does the association alone kind of raise concerns? Because think about what this means. You've got children's, tweens, teens making up the core of its platform, and now you're potentially mixing in adult spaces to be dating. Even if Roblox does keep them separate, the optics of that are very worrying. The platform has already faced criticism for people using it like a dating website, role-playing the relationships, flirting, and simulating things that definitely should not be appearing in a children's game. That's already happening under the radar. So is it really responsible for Roblox itself to lean into that culture, legitimizing it by offering dating as an official feature? And then there is the bigger picture. Is it just another example of Roblox chasing profit without really considering the consequences? The company has built a massive user base by drawing in kids. Now, with talking about dating features, it feels like they are trying to rebrand themselves as kind of a space for all ages. But the problem is, I don't really think you can be the same. You can't be a children's playground and a dating website. So which one is it? Because if Roblox is deciding to kind of blur that line, they risk creating a space that really isn't safe for children, and it really isn't appropriate for adults either. And once again, the people that are caught in the middle of this experiment are the most vulnerable, children who have already been exposed to risks on this platform. So the question becomes, is Roblox really the right platform for something like this to be happening? Should we be seeing this new virtual dating idea as a sign that maybe Roblox shouldn't be seen as a children's game at all? The data does show that Roblox's audience is overwhelmingly young. According to industry reports, over half of Roblox users are under 16. That means that the environment is dominated by children, but also by default then an audience of adults who know that. Predators don't need to go looking for children when millions are already centralized in one place, ready to talk, chat and play. It's like a digital playground without a fence, and when you add the global reach of the internet, the playground suddenly feels a lot less safe. But it's not just the crimes that are worrying, it's also the culture. Children exposed to constant communication with strangers, some pretending to be their age, some not, can become desensitized. What happens when normal for an 11-year-old includes receiving private messages from some 20-year-old stranger pretending to be 14, or seeing sexualized roleplay happening within what was marketed at a kids' game? Are we unintentionally normalizing behavior that children should never be seeing? And this is the reality. Restrictions are constantly being bypassed. Phone numbers disguised in code, explicit language hidden with symbols, servers where moderation is absent, players teaching each other how to exploit the system. So when Roblox says it has safeguards, we really need to ask, are those safeguards effective, or are they just there to try and make parents feel safer, while reality looks very different. So what could be done? What are the solutions? Should Roblox consider banning all underage communication for underage users completely? Should there be stricter age-gated servers where certain games are locked for only adults and other games are gated for children? Should the platform be legally held accountable when crimes are happening on platform? Because right now Roblox is in kind of a grey zone. It does market itself as a children's game, but it does provide adult communication features. It profits massively from a younger audience, but it doesn't always take the responsibility of what comes with that. Shouldn't the safety of children outweigh the profit of a company making billions? Which kind of brings us back to the main question: should Roblox even be a game for children? When you combine crimes against children, the exposure to strangers, the dating site culture, loopholes around restrictions, and the psychological risks of constant unmonitored interactions, it becomes harder and harder to argue that Roblox is safe for children. Maybe the real issue isn't how can we make Roblox safe for kids, but rather, should children even be on Roblox in the first place? Let's take a step back from the mechanics, the lawsuits, the crimes, and really think about what Roblox represents in today's culture. On the surface, it's a game, a creative sandbox where children can play, build, and socialize. But look closer, and it's also a global social platform, a place where human interactions are not moderated in time, where children are suddenly negotiating the same kind of complex social dynamics that even adults can struggle to navigate. This is where the struggle seems a bit larger than just Roblox. What does it say about a society that millions of children are spending hours in a world designed by adults where social interaction is unfiltered and sometimes unsafe? Are we, as a culture, underestimating the effects that these online communities are having on young children? Kids are learning social norms, empathy, and trust, but they're learning it in an environment where predators, inappropriate behaviour, and manipulative communication exists. That's not a playground, that's a social experiment with real consequences. And then there's just the evolution of Roblox itself. This isn't just a game for kids anymore. It's becoming a place where adults are increasingly present, where older teens and even adults can come roleplay romantic or sexualized interactions, and where discussions about Roblox dating are even entering mainstream media. Should a platform with such a young demographic even be thinking about the idea of dating features? Should children, the majority of the user base, be immersed into a social environment where flirting, adult roleplay, and even grooming tactics are normalised? There's an even broader conversation here about desensitization and normalisation of risk. Many children see conversations, role-playing, or even just inappropriate behaviour as part of the game. They might not yet have the maturity to recognise danger, deception, or coercion. But as adults, we often assume that games marked as safe for children are exactly that. How often do we pause to actually consider that a fun, creative space can double as a platform where children are exposed to some of the same social pressures, manipulations, and predatory behaviours that exist in the same adult online world? And finally, we can't ignore the economic angle. Roblox is a billion-dollar company. Its success depends on keeping children engaged for as long as possible, monetizing avatars, in-game purchases, premium memberships. But in prioritizing engagement and profit, are the social and psychological risks being minimized or ignored? How much does a platform owe to its users when a child's safety is at stake? So here is the question we really have to wrestle with. Is Roblox really a game for children, or has it evolved into a broader social space with real world risks that society hasn't fully reckoned with? And if children are spending more and more time in these environments, what are we implicitly asking them to navigate? And is it fair to expect that them to do that safely on their own. At the end of the day, Roblox has created something absolutely massive, and yes, there are parts of it that are very fun and creative, but we also need to be realistic about what it has become: a place where children are vulnerable, exposed, and sometimes harmed. And if we just keep pretending that it is some harmless children's game, we ignore the real dangers happening every day on this platform. So I want to leave you with this: is it time we stop calling Roblox a children's game? And if we do, what responsibility falls on parents, players, and the company itself to make sure that children are actually safe? Because if we don't ask those questions now, the next headlines about crimes related to Roblox won't be shocking, they will just be expected, and that should never be normalized. Well, that was a bit of a different one for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and comment down below your thoughts. I am very passionate about this conversation in general, so I would love to know your thoughts. And again, please subscribe if you enjoyed this, as I make lots of conversational videos like this one. I will see you guys in the next one.